Good evening and welcome to TVB News. A family of 4 were found dead in Chunwan in early hours of today. Police have classified the case as murder-suicide. The father was said to have emotional issues. Most 9 reports.
The tragedy happened at Panda Hotel in Chunwan. Police received a report at around 4 a.m. on Sunday morning saying a man had fallen from height. The 37-year-old man was sent to Yanzhai Hospital and was pronounced dead. Police went to the hotel suite where the family was staying. Bloodstains were left on the curtain. The man's 36-year-old wife was dead in the living room. Multiple knife wounds were spotted on her neck and back. Their 2 sons, aged 3 and 6, were found unconscious in 2 bedrooms. Knife wounds were seen on the elder son's palms, arms, and neck, while the younger son had wounds on his chest and neck. The mother and children were all certified dead at the scene. Initial investigations showed that the man attacked the 3 with a kitchen knife. Speaking to the media, the police said no suicide note was found in the room and that the family had been staying at the hotel since May. Sources say the father was a former disciplinary force member and the 4 planned to move to the UK in August. Prior to the tragedy, the man posted on social media saying he had emotional issues. Authorities said the family had no financial problems. A clinical psychiatrist said patients who suffer from mental health conditions, such as depression, often think they are in a hopeless situation, and hallucinations may appear in some severe cases. But he said it is rare for depression patients to commit murders.
Rather, there would be some typical presentation of depressive case in male, especially will present with some irritable mood rather than low mood, and also there is some extreme temperament, and even further there will be a little bit of like violence behavior.
The doctor said depression can be cured, but patients require support from their friends and families.
Never let them feel lonely and they are the only fighters against their own illness. And always have to bear in mind, helps are everywhere.
He added it remains important for patients to seek professional treatment. Numbers 9, TVB News.
A meter room in To Kwa Wan's Yifeng Mansions short-circuited last night, resulting in a power outage, situation affecting all 4 towers in the residential estate and more than 800 residents. Power was restored to 2 of the towers earlier this morning. This as the local owners corporation and representatives of the district said that blocks A and C will have the power restored by 10 p.m. tonight and before 2 a.m. tomorrow respectively.
A burst pipe at Yifeng Mansions on Saturday evening was believed to be the reason for water flowing into the estate's meter room, causing a widespread power outage. Through initial repair efforts, power restored to Block B and D at around 2 a.m. During the afternoon, CLP Group continued to deploy staff to install temporary power supply. But with power still lacking at Blocks A and C throughout the day, residents were forced to fetch water at mobile tanks provided by the Water Supplies Department. Some are concerned the power outage compounded by the blistering heat will disturb their rest. This man said he can't sleep given that he doesn't even have a fan and is worried about the food inside his refrigerator. While this woman said her apartment is completely blanketed in darkness and had to use candles just to be able to cook dinner. A manager of an elderly care home located in Block A said around 24 residents are still living on the premises, with only a single fan between them. This as the mansion's security guards issued notices this afternoon, saying that CLP is conducting repair work and will notify residents when electricity is restored. The local owners corporation and district representatives also held a meeting earlier today saying that they will prioritize restoring power to Block A. A number of members of the owners corporation noted it has been years since the residential estate had undergone any repair work and has experienced problems with the recent heavy rain. Speaking about the building's condition, lawmaker Starry Lee said repair work on older buildings has always been comparatively difficult, stressing that the building's property management companies must increase efforts to fix any damages.
China and the United States are holding a new round of economic and trade talks in Sweden. Vice Premier He Lifeng is leading the Chinese delegation in the talks, which is expected to go on until Wednesday. This is the third round of high-level talks between the two countries after the economic and trade talks in Geneva and in London earlier this year. It is understood that this round of talks in Stockholm will confirm the details of the framework established in London and will advance its implementation. An article published by the Xinhua news agency says China welcomes the dialogue, but is fully aware of the long-term complex and challenging nature of bridging gaps between the two countries. It also says the Stockholm talks represent a pivotal opportunity to inject much-needed stability and confidence into the global economy. In the United States, 11 people were stabbed at a Walmart store in Traverse City, Michigan, with 6 in critical condition. A suspect was arrested and authorities say the attack appeared to be a random act. A 42-year-old man entered the store Saturday afternoon and used a folding knife to stab 11 people. A sheriff's deputy arrived within minutes and took the man into custody. People in the store helped apprehend the suspect and treat victims, 6 of whom are in critical condition. Emergency vehicles and first responders gathered in the parking lot of the shopping center as employees were being interviewed. State police say the suspect is believed to be a Michigan resident. A shooting early Friday at a University of New Mexico dormitory killed a 14-year-old boy, wounded a 19-year-old, and prompted the evacuation of hundreds of students while a campus-wide search for the suspect was in progress. New Mexico State Police said they arrested the suspect, 18-year-old John Fuentes, hours after the shooting at a traffic stop 25 miles south of Albuquerque. He was booked on charges of first-degree murder, aggravated battery, aggravated assault, and tampering with evidence. Fuentes has already made his first court appearance via Zoom. He will remain in custody and held without bond and will be back in court next week. Welcome back. Thailand and Cambodia on Sunday signaled their readiness to negotiate an end to a deadly border dispute following mediation efforts by U.S. President Donald Trump. Reports say the two countries have also agreed to allow Malaysia to act as a mediator. Both sides blame each other for starting the conflict, which has so far killed at least 34 people since Thursday and displaced more than 168,000. Nasvi Karim with more.
Thousands have fled the Cambodian town of Samrong, 40 kilometers from the Thai border, to avoid the conflict. But not all. Some have chosen to remain, while others cannot afford to leave. Tos Toros is chief monk of the town's oldest pagoda. He has sent more than a dozen novice monks away to safety, but has himself, along with a few others, chosen to stay. He called on both sides, both largely Buddhist countries, to work together for peace. Also in Samrong, 53-year-old Niam Mom is surrounded by bananas, dragon fruit and rambutan. She took a loan of about $2,000 to buy these fruits, hoping to sell them at a profit. Now most of her customers have fled. She said she would fall deeper into debt if she left her roadside shop. Thirsty Cambodians battling the heat in Oda Mianchi province surround a water truck. But hope is around the corner after US President Donald Trump said he's mediating a potential ceasefire deal. Trump said on social media that he had spoken to the leaders of both countries, suggesting he would not proceed with trade agreements if hostilities continued. Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Manet said his country will pursue an immediate and unconditional ceasefire after Trump told him that the Thais also agreed to halt attacks. Displaced Thais in Surin province passing time at a shelter, with acting Thai Prime Minister Phumtham Wechayachai expressing cautious support for Trump's efforts, saying Thailand agreed in principle to a truce but needed the sincere intention of Cambodia. Despite the diplomatic efforts, reports emerge of continuing fighting along parts of the contested border. The focus of the fighting is the ancient Ta Mun Tom temple claimed by both sides. A Thai military official said Cambodian forces fired heavy artillery into Surin province, and Thailand responded with long-range artillery targeting opposition rocket launchers. Meanwhile, former Thai Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra visited displaced villages at a shelter in Ubon Ratchathani province. Though no longer involved in politics, Thaksin is seen as a driving force behind the government. His daughter, Petong Tan, has been suspended as Prime Minister after it was leaked that she had spoken kindly to Cambodia's former leader Hun Sen during a phone call over border tensions. Nazvi Karim, TVB News.
A crowd surge at a popular Hindu temple in northern India left at least 6 people dead and 29 others injured today. Ambulances ferried the injured to hospital. The incident in the city of Harvard Bar occurred after a high-voltage electric wire reportedly fell on a temple path, triggering panic among the large crowd of people. Witnesses say the crowd suddenly started running and trampling each other, including small children. Thousands of pilgrims had gathered at the Mansa Devi Hilltop Temple, which is a major site for Hindu devotees. They were celebrating the holy month of Shravan. Authorities are investigating what caused the overhead wire to collapse. Chief Executive John Lee today led 21 top government officials in attending a district forum this morning to collect views from the public ahead of his September policy address. More than 110 residents took part in the event. This morning, John Lee arrived at a primary school in Hung Hom, the venue of the CE's first district consultation session this year. Other top government officials were also there. During the 2-hour session, some members of the public said they hope the government will formulate measures to stimulate the city's economy, such as offering tax reductions to private land developers as an incentive. The topic of enhancing opportunities for ethnic minorities was also raised by some of the attendants.
I'm really concerned about their future. First of all, to make them feel more involved in the community, I suggest to have ambassadors, non-Chinese speaking ambassadors, especially in hospital and in big cooperations to support this group of population.
Tourism has long been essential to the French economy, with Paris consistently ranked among the most visited cities on the planet. But years of continuous growth in tourists visiting the French capital has ushered in the plight of over-tourism, leading to increasing frustration among many locals.
Deemed the capital of romance and home to world-renowned landmarks such as the Arc de Triomphe and the Eiffel Tower, visitors to Paris often find themselves surrounded by crowds of fellow travelers more so than works of art and history. Tourists who hope to reenact cinematic strolls on the Champs-Élysées may encounter scenes of a crowded street more akin to that of Mongkok. Just last month, workers at the Louvre organized a strike in protest at unsustainable numbers of visitors at the museum. The surge in tourists traveling to the French capital was largely the consequence of Paris having hosted the 2024 Olympic Games, with the city welcoming a record-breaking 100 million visitors last year. Businesses in Paris may find increasing amounts of opportunities, but for local residents, it's only the start of their nightmare. Amandine, who was born and raised in Paris, said residents living in the city's residential areas have already been affected by the deluge of tourists.
The Parisian recalled how easy it was for her to get a spot at a local restaurant during the pandemic, but noted there are long queues everywhere now as tourists outnumber locals. She added that the metro is crowded with visitors and large suitcases, making it frustrating for many local residents. Amandine says she initially planned to rent a place for herself, but had to face reality after finding out most homeowners prefer to lease their property to tourists. This as the French government predicted that tourist figures will only increase throughout this year. But the local tourism sector believes this development will eventually lead to an internal crisis and is planning to reduce overseas promotions. In a bid to promote luxury tourism and attract more high-spending visitors, French authorities earlier allocated 1.7 billion Hong Kong dollars to assist with the effort. However, representatives of the French tourism ministry find such tourism packages lacking. This Secretary General of a joint Chinese-European Tourism Association said those who wish to purchase tickets for a metro or bus ride in Paris are often confused by the unhelpful infrastructure. He suggested that the French government adopt digital solutions to make consumption in the city more efficient. Meanwhile, some Parisians encouraged France-bound visitors to consider going to other regions of the country, such as Normandy or the French Riviera, and urged authorities to improve transport to these locations. And that's the news. Thanks for watching.